Hello, Williamson County. I'm Kerri Hudson, and welcome to It's About You, an informational program about the classes, activities, and special events of the Williamson County Parks and Recreation Department. Well, regardless of your age or preferred genre of music, there's a song from the group The Byrds that most people recognize. A portion of the lyrics state, "To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven." In everyone's life, there's a time to start and a time to finish, a time to work and a time to rest. And for many of us, there's a long-awaited time, a time that is hopefully happy, reflective, and anew when we choose to retire. That time came for Williamson County Parks and Recreation Director, Mr. Doug Hood, last winter when he announced his official retirement for November 30th, 2014. Mr. Hood joins me in the studio today, where we will recap his career and review his last year in office. Doug, thanks for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you here.
You're welcome, Kerri. That was pretty neat what you just did. It takes me back to the music days, too. It just shows my age. I remember the Byrds well.
So you were around when that song came
out?
Yeah,
I was around that song. Yeah, that's true. Unlike you, I'm sure you had to do a little research to get all that. But yes, that was something that I was in my teen years. So.
Well, we want to talk today about what you have done as a director for Parks and Recreation. You have a long tenured career. You've been a director of a Parks and Recreation department for 35 years. Let's start off today and let's recap your career and tell people a little bit about yourself. You're originally from Florida. You grew up around Palm Beach Gardens.
I did. I grew up in the Palm Beach County area. My dad worked for a major aircraft company, Pratt & Whitney Aircraft, and that's why we were in South Florida. Did all my school work down there, and then I'm a proud graduate of Florida State University.
That we all know. Yeah. Anyone who knows you knows exactly where you stand in that school.
Very proud of my Seminoles. Enjoy college football. And obviously we've had some great discussions at work about that. It's been fun. And then basically got in, when I got out of college, I got in the food business with a major food corporation, and my degree's in administration and planning. And after that, we went to work at Pratt & Whitney Aircraft as well. Worked there for a couple, people laugh when they know I was a product integrity auditor. I worked on audits, so. Got in municipal government, and then was offered the director's job. Was worked there about a year, and then had went to Pratt & Whitney, and then came back and city manager, and I came to an understanding about the department. The gentleman who was director before, and I became a director when I was 29 years old. So did 12 years in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Built a program there. Mm-hmm.
The highlight of that being
won the National Gold Medal Award in 1989 as the #1 department in the country by population. And I got a little bored then, and Johnny Kay and I had 2 children at the time, and still do.
Yeah.
Scott was 9 years old and Krista was 4, and we talked about living someplace other than South Florida where we both were raised. It kind of changed, and not what we were looking for long term. And my dear sweet wife, I have to give her credit. She was looking in the NRPA magazine and found the job in Williamson County. And I thought when she first talked to me, she said it was in Franklin. And of course, I interrupted her before, and I said, I don't want to go to Franklin. I said, it's too small. And I said, we had a cabin close by when we were in Boone, North Carolina. My family owned a cabin in Boone growing up, and she said, "Are you done?" And I said, she goes, "This is in Tennessee." And I said, oh, okay.
A little different.
Yeah. So I came up and interviewed, and was fortunate enough to be offered the job. And
you started as our director in September of 1991.
I did. The day I was offered the job, the day the mall opened here, which I always remember and thought was ironic. So, and I mean, what a great ride. It's been so, I've been so blessed. I mean, it's just been great. And, you know, it's like when we tell our children, Johnny Kay and I both, you know, you need to contribute in this life, and hopefully I've contributed here.
Quite a bit.
Well, I hope
We're going to
so.
talk about some of that. I intend on tooting a horn today.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what the department was when you came here, because in September of 1991, when you were hired as the director, it wasn't really Williamson County Parks and Recreation the way people know it now.
Right.
Your tenure here as the director for 23 years has seen phenomenal changes, starting off and basically making it the Williamson County Parks and Recreation Department.
We did that in 1994. When I came in '91, it was the Franklin Williamson County Department, and it was operated by a board of directors from it's called the Joint Recreation Commission, and they were appointed by the City of Franklin officials and by Williamson County officials. So there was a budget that was approved by 2 entities. There was funding from 2 entities. There was park work done by the City of Franklin Parks. You know, we didn't have a parks division yet, so it was not good. It was a good start, but there was just too many hands in the pot, you know, in the fire, and trying to figure out what was supposed to go where and how to do. And luckily, the elected officials understood that as time went on. And to Bob Ring's credit, he initiated the idea of just the county doing it, and Franklin would be a park facilitator if they chose to do that and not be in the recreation business. And same thing, you know, we did with Brentwood and, you know, Fairview, which was obviously their municipalities' choices. But I would say when we did this in '94 and formed the department, the first Williamson County Parks and Recreation Department, that it was, I think that what we did, you know, kind of speaks for itself. Mm-hmm. And been very fortunate, very blessed. Always had a lot of support from our commission, and, you know, and I think it helped the municipalities, because Franklin has a very strong parks department. Brentwood has a very strong parks department. I mean, they are.
But when you have a singular attention, you're able to really devote everything to it.
Yeah. But I want to make sure, you know, this is, you know, the thing that made it so great was that, you know, that once we committed to it, I mean, we were committed to it. Mm-hmm. We were going to do it and go, and part of the reason, I'm very honestly, is that's what had a lot to do with keeping me here, you know, me staying here, because I really thought we'd do 4 or 5 years here, and I had every intention I was going to be a city manager someplace, and thought that was what my career path was going to go, or I was going to, you know, operate a big department. And, you know, I mean, it's no secret, you know, I've turned down some big jobs in Atlanta and Gwinnett County and, you know, Florida and other places over the years. And what a blessing it's been to be here. I mean, I just, every time that would come up, I mean, I just couldn't leave the people. I couldn't leave everybody who was, you know, listening to the things I was saying, and the young staff that I had, and them, you know, me preaching the gospel and having them drink Doug's Kool-Aid. You know, that what kind of man would I have been, or person I would have been, if I had just gone on? You know, it's like, I always think about that in sports, when the college football coach stands and looks at his players and says, I'll be here, and the next day, you know, he's signed to go to another school simply because of more money. Mm-hmm. And I hope my character's more than that. I mean, that's what that kept me here. And as I've always said, great schools here, great place to raise your children. You know, Johnny Kay and I love where we worship. You know, the people that you still, not as much, but you still can walk down Main Street and usually see somebody you know.
Yep. All
the events that go on here, you know, just feeling like home. And one of my friends told me one time, and I've never forgotten this, they were visiting me from Florida, and I've never got it out of my mind. It just said, he said, man, you live in Disney World. He said, this is unbelievable. And I've always remembered that how Main Street, especially at the holidays, and, you know, the holidays are my favorite time of coming up. And it's just, you know, it's like, yeah, I mean, you're right. I'm so blessed to be here. And Johnny Kay and I both just love it here. And our children went to Franklin Special Schools, and then they went to BGA, and both of them are Auburn graduates, and one of them's in the oil business in Dallas. Our daughter is, and our son Scott, with our 3 granddaughters, is in business in South Carolina. So they both married Auburn people. So as
Yes,
as you can imagine, last year the national championship game was a little different at our house with
Yes, it was.
Dad being the Seminole and all the other Auburns, and their mother's a little attached to those children. So I was kind of sitting alone right there. But I mean, that's how it all came about. Where it's just been such a blessing, and the challenges that we've dealt with in bringing Parks and Recreation to the forefront, is what kept me here, and the ability for us to be able to do that. And you can't, and you've heard me, we had a very emotional staff meeting yesterday, all of us, since it was the last one. And you can't understand the importance unless you're in this of having the citizens involved and them, wanting to be part of this. That's been the huge part. And the commission, and then I've worked for 3 really good guys. Mm-hmm. I mean, Bob Rain, Clint Calicott, and Rogers Anderson. And and it's like I said, he doesn't take compliments well. Rogers doesn't, like I don't. It's kind of hard. But this is the finest man I ever worked for. And I loved Bob Rain and Clint, but Rogers is a businessman and runs the county like that. But he also understands the importance of quality of life and those kind of issues. And I've had the advantage not only of me working for him, but he's my friend. I mean, he and I are friends. And Rogers was one of the first people I ever met here mm-hmm. when I came here, because he was a basketball official and was raising his young family at the time. And I've been very blessed with all 3 of them.
Absolutely. Well, just to give people an idea on the perspective of what your tenure as the Williamson County Parks and Recreation Director has accomplished. When you first came here in September of '91, there was 1 facility and 4 full-time employees.
There was.
And as you depart from this department, although you're never really gone from the family, you leave us in a place where we have 34 recreation facilities and parks spread out across Williamson County. We have 100 full-time employees, about 400 part-time employees, nearly 1,000 seasonal employees, part-time instructors, sporting officials, a totally massive department that you have orchestrated. You've seen an amazing amount of change as you have been at the helm of the Williamson County Parks and Recreation Department. And you've been the primary driving force behind making recreation what it is today, interweaving it into the fabric of life in Williamson County, giving it part of what that high quality of living is here. You mentioned earlier that your family moved here in '91,
right?
Because you wanted a better place for your family and a better place to raise your children. And that's still why people move here today.
Well, the great thing was, and there's a lot of history and stories that I could tell, that when I was offered the job that day, it was the day the mall opened.
Mm-hmm, right.
The Cool Springs Gallery opened. And I was going to go out to dinner with the people who were offering me the position and stuff. Then I thought about it and talked to them and said, well, I really would like to go to the mall. And it was Tommy Murdick, who was on this at the time and was negotiating with me for the position. He and I still laugh about this. But the reason we went was because we knew we could find people that had lived here 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, their whole life, mm-hmm. And we did that. And Johnny K's kind of shy by nature, but both of us kind of went up and said to people, hey, we're thinking about moving here. How do you? And everybody said, boy, this is a great place to raise your kids. Mm-hmm. What a great place to raise your kids. And, my life is surrounded by my wife, who I cherish, and my children, who I adore. And, if that was what it took, and for us to pick up from South Florida, our home, to move here, to have a better life and give them every opportunity, that's why we did it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to go back to the staff, you're right, when I came here, there was like 3 or 4, Phyllis Huffman, who's still here, Jim Harrison, who's still here, and Jennifer York was still here. And then we had a couple of open positions.
Yep.
And I knew the thing to do was, because I wouldn't want it done to me, I came in and listened and observed first. That's what I did. They didn't care how I did it in Florida. They cared if I was going to understand the Tennessee way, and how are we going to build this together. And that's, you've worked for me a long time, Kerri, and it's all about the team. It's,
it is.
You have to have a leader, but the people who work in Parks and Recreation here, it is family, and we all know that. And it's been an emotional couple of weeks, and I admit that. And
But it's supposed to be.
it is supposed to be.
Because it is such, it's a wonderful time, it's a reflective time. We're going to talk about a lot more other components of this past year in just a minute, but we do need to take a quick break. Y'all stay tuned. When we come back, we'll spend more time with retiring director, Mr. Doug Hood.
We get into our vehicles every day. Check the side and rear view mirrors, look back, ready to go. But wait. Behind the vehicle are 62 children, and not a single one could be seen.
Technology already exists that can eliminate the blind zone. Please protect your children and equip your vehicle. Don't back blind. See the children.
Welcome back to It's About You. We're talking today with our retiring director, Mr. Doug Hood. And sir, we wanted to take a few minutes just to recap your last year. It's been tradition for us the past almost 11 years that at the end of a year, we have a little sit down to talk about what the department's done over the past year.
Right.
And even though some people might have looked at it as your retiring year, you did not slow down this year, which is totally against your nature. I knew that you wouldn't. But there has been a lot of things that have gone on this past year for Williamson County Parks and Recreation that not only have made this year so wonderful, but that leaves so much more opportunity out there for years to come. And I wanted to start off talking today about one specific project because I know it had such special meaning to you, both professionally and personally. We talked earlier before the break about the staff and how happy you've been with the staff that you've accumulated with this department over your 23 years as the director here. Offering a well-rounded list of community events for the residents and people in and around Williamson County to participate in has always been very important to you. And for those of us who have worked with you for several years, we are used to and have heard this statement many times: not everybody kicks the soccer ball.
Right.
There are other components to a Parks and Recreation department besides athletics or wellness or fitness types of programming. You've always been an advocate for the arts in Williamson County. And I think this year one of the things that made it so special for all of us was the fact that we were able to get funding approved for a new development on the old Battleground Academy campus off of Columbia Avenue. Talk to us a little bit about that project.
Okay. Well, that was the final project that I got approved, and there's the main component is an enrichment center, which is going to house our seniors programs for our very important senior citizens. And I guess I am one of those, but I really hadn't thought about that. I'm sure I'll be using some of the facilities. And with that component goes, we are taking the old Coverdale building, which was the second oldest gym in the state of Tennessee, and we are making that into a community children's theater program and community theater. We've got it designed where it's going to seat about 300, but and it is not in any competition with any other theater because there's about 125 things we've identified that we can do in there. We're going to work in cooperation with the schools. We've got the young children's programming going on for all kinds of arts programs, not just in theater, but in drawing and calligraphy and all the stuff that can go on there. We're going to incorporate our seniors with drama classes for them and play classes. And I know we have a short amount of time. It's just going to add to the quality of life in Williamson County.
Absolutely.
And I've wanted to do a community theater for 35 years that I've been a director. And blessed to have gotten this passed and appreciate what the commission did under Roger's leadership, that we're gonna have this very unique but yet wonderful facility, hopefully open in 2016. I think that's what the mayor would like to see, that'll happen for the residents.
Another first for us this year, and a long-awaited completion on a project, was the opening of really what is the Williamson County Parks and Recreation Department's first true passive park with the opening of Timberland Park. It's a beautiful 72-acre rustic park off the Natchez Trace Parkway.
Yeah, it is. We're very fortunate. That's a long-time project. That's a couple of decades working on that. When this first started, with Miss Judy Hayes, former commissioner, and Miss Nancy Conway, who's the former president of the Franklin Williams County Chamber, were involved with that. A gentleman named John Wisnet with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And I always tell the story. I was on horseback in North Carolina when I got the phone call, and they've teased me because I I told him I had to go park this horse. Like, y'all go, I got to get off this so I can hear all this. Worked out great. Phyllis Huffman, who does administration and planning for me, was just put her heart and soul in it. Phyllis is the longest tenured employee in Williamson County Parks and Recreation, and it's just been it was a labor of love, this park, because it is the first nature park off the trace, and working with the national highway people and the federal highway people and the Natchez Trace, all of those people involved. It's just been a wonderful experience, and kudos again to our highway department for we got a grant and they paved the road that made it contiguous from our property to the Trace, and it's great. I encourage everybody to go out and see that. If you can really actually feel like you're in the mountains and like you're in Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge without all the hubbub that goes with it, where you actually just can feel out take a picnic lunch and just sit out there and just help you get your day straight. It's a great place.
It really, really is, and I love some of the things that are associated with that park. It's, like I said, about a 72-acre passive park. It features a 2,000 square foot interpretive center. There are hiking trails, some traditional hiking trails that were actually cut in from old logging roads that were on the property, and then there's also an ADA accessible trail that is a compressed gravel trail that leads to an overlook where people can look out over some of the property and see some of what is still the beautiful nature in Williamson County. As this county continues to grow, I love how there's still a heart for leaving green space here, and for preserving some of the natural beauty that is just ever prevalent where we look around this place. But there's restrooms, picnic tables, the parking lot's big enough for an RV loop, for people coming in off of the Trace and going back onto it. So if you're on the Natchez Trace this fall or winter season and want to stop by and see us, we're at mile marker 437.2, Timberland Park. Y'all come on by. We'll be happy to see you.
It's very close to the big bridge.
Yes, it is. So. Very close to the big bridge. And then another project that has also been something that's been on your radar for several years, but that is finally coming into those last phases of completion, is the addition of the Williamson County Recreational Complex at Nolensville.
Right. It's a little bit behind schedule, so we're probably looking at the first of the year to get that open, for you all to get that open.
Yes.
But it's going to be a great addition to the system. It's a great place to have a community center. Then in all the areas, we will have touched about every area in Williamson County with a community center in the bigger area. So it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be run the same way we run Longview and Franklin and ISC and all of them.
Fairview and
Fairview,
place else.
Everything. That's exactly right. So looking forward to coming out and visiting that when you all get that finished, and
absolutely
take a little tour. So.
See what it's all about. It's going to be a wonderful addition to that northeast section of Williamson County, where there currently isn't the same type of amenity there that we do have in Brentwood, Fairview, Franklin, and Spring Hill. And I love how this kind of embodies what you've done with the department over the past couple years. You take this great package of parks and recreation, but you spread it out to everybody. You make sure that everybody's touched by it. It doesn't just stay in Franklin. It doesn't just stay in Brentwood or in the bigger cities within the county. You make sure that it goes out to all the people.
That's what we tried, and that's what this commission believes, and all the commissions I've worked with, and especially the 3 county mayors and county executives, now county mayors, believe that quality of life is important here and makes for a great community. And I can't imagine wanting to live anyplace else, or that someplace that didn't have all these wonderful things.
Absolutely. Well, and wrapping up today, there are always plans. I know you're a planner, and I'm sure you have some great plans after your retirement.
Well, hopefully, Johnny Kaye's going to work a little more part-time, and I'm going to do something part-time, and we'll figure all that out. The blessing is that we get to spend more time with family. That's the huge blessing to this, and that we get to spend more time with each other. So I'm really looking forward to it. And let me say this to the citizens of Williamson County: it's been a blessing, and I appreciate so much that I've had the opportunity to serve you, and I hope that I've contributed in some way to enhance the quality of life here and helped it. And don't you start on me now.
I won't.
It's been very emotional for all of us. It really has. And
it has.
I also want to thank my staff, thank Rogers, Diane Giddens, and all the department heads I worked with. It's just been a huge blessing, and this is our home, and we'll be here. So
We'll be here.
thank you all again for your support over the years, and it was my honor to serve.
And it has been our honor and our blessing to work with you.
Thank you, Kerri. Thank you.
All right, well, in closing today, I do want to remind you all of some upcoming Williamson County Parks and Recreation programs. If you are looking for a great holiday gift this holiday season, consider giving the gift of health. An annual pass to the Williamson County Parks and Recreation Department is the gift they'll use year-round. All county annual pass holders receive unlimited use of state-of-the-art wellness centers, gymnasiums, and walking tracks, plus open and lap swimming in our indoor and outdoor pools across the county. Annual passes can be purchased and used at our recreation facilities in Brentwood, Fairview, Franklin, Spring Hill, and coming soon to Nolensville. Passes are extremely affordable. An all-county annual pass for a Williamson County resident is just $225 for a family, $160 for a senior family, $150 for a single youth or adult, and $100 for a single senior. Williamson County Parks and Recreation gift certificates are also available in any denomination and can be used like cash for passes and most classes at our primary recreation centers. Some restrictions and special circumstances do apply, and other pass pricing options are also available. So stop by the front desk of any main recreation facility for more information about passes and gift certificates, and finish your holiday shopping with us. Also want to remind you all about some upcoming holiday special events. We have several holiday programs planned to help you and your family celebrate this very special season, including our Fairview Polar Express Storytime with Santa on Friday, December 12th, our annual Franklin Breakfast with Santa on Saturday, December the 13th. We have our Santa mailboxes available at our recreation facilities in Fairview, Franklin, Spring Hill, and also at the Hillsboro Leapers Fork Community Center, now through December the 19th. And children can drop their letters to Santa off in those mailboxes, and then Santa promises to return correspondence to your child before the holidays. The Rhythm and Spirit dance program of Williamson County Parks and Recreation is also working on their third annual holiday program entitled Let It Go. This is going to be held on Saturday, December the 20th. This year we have a 1 p.m. show for students from the Longview Recreation Center at Spring Hill and a 6 p.m. show for our students from the Franklin Recreation Complex. Both shows will be held at Rolling Hills Community Church, located off of Columbia Avenue in Franklin. Our Rhythm and Spirit students have been preparing for weeks for this event, and it is sure to put you in the holiday spirit. The public is invited to attend these shows. Admission is only $5 per person, with children ages 3 and younger admitted for free. Tickets are limited and currently available at the front desk of the Franklin Recreation Complex and the Longview Recreation Center at Spring Hill. We also have our annual holiday food drive going on now. Help your Williamson County neighbors in need this holiday season by making a donation of non-perishable food items to our annual holiday food drive. Collection carts are located in the lobbies of the Fairview Recreation Complex, Franklin Recreation Complex, the Indoor Sports Complex in Brentwood, and the Longview Recreation Center at Spring Hill. The food drive is going on through December 12th and will benefit Feed America First. We also have a couple of facility closures coming up over the next couple of weeks. In observance of a brief winter break, our recreation facilities will be closed Wednesday, December the 24th through Friday, December the 26th. Facilities will reopen according to their regular schedules beginning Saturday, December the 27th. Then in observance of New Year's, our facilities will close at 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday, December 31st and remain closed Thursday, January 1st. Facilities again will reopen according to their regular schedules the following day on Friday, January 2nd. Some exceptions do apply for our athletic facilities and a floor maintenance project planned for the Franklin Recreation Complex. You can get more information about these facility closures as well as more complete information about all of our holiday programs by visiting our website at www.wcparksandrec.com. And lastly, I'd like to take an opportunity just to wish you all a very safe and happy holiday season. We'll see you next time. And until then, remember, Williamson County, it's all about you.
So much more on now already. Summer fun.